Alright, to kick off our course on mobile application penetration testing, I just want to cover a few great resources that you'll be able to use not just for this course, but also for your mobile pen testing career. So the first book here, the first resource that I'm going to provide you with is this OWASP Mobile Application Pen Testing Kitbook. Now all these links are also in the course notes, so please go ahead and take a look there. And this book is basically, I see it kind of as the Bible of mobile pen testing. The cool thing about this book is not only does it show you different attack vectors that you'll be able to use as a pen tester, but also it shows some best practices and ways to mitigate some of these vulnerabilities. You can see the introduction to the OWASP Mobile Security Testing Guide. If we scroll down, it tells you some key information about mobile pen testing. If there's ever anything that you want to know about mobile pen testing, this is one of the best places to start looking. If you scroll down on the left-hand side, you can see it has some general mobile app testing guides, Android testing guides, and iOS testing guides as well. I'm going to go here to the app authentication architectures. You can see on the right hand side that it actually has some information about best practices for authentication for mobile applications. So if you actually find a vulnerability in your mobile application, you should also always be able to tell the business how to fix it. And that's something that is really nice about this book, because it can call out some mitigation strategies on how you can actually fix those vulnerabilities, and also provides you with the best practices to do so. And the book stays up to date because they're always in here updating with new information. Go here to the Android testing guide. You can see that there's some information about the Android platform and the Android security architecture. Now we'll be covering this exact diagram later in the course, but if there's ever something that catches your interest or that you do not quite understand from this course materials, you can always go here as a first place to start. This book will point you to other resources and also give you a lot of basic information for anything that maybe is not 100% clear on this course. Go down to the iOS platform overview as well. You can see that it has a lot of information here, and it's always something great to go out to and read if you want to learn something new or there's something that you don't quite understand. Going back to our PowerPoint here, I also want to make you familiar about the OWASP Mobile Top 10. Now this list is kind of old, it's back to 2016, but that does not mean that these are irrelevant. The OWASP Top 10 is basically the top 10 vulnerabilities that were discovered for mobile applications. If you're familiar with the OWASP Top 10 for web, that is also for web applications. They have a separate list of the top 10 security vulnerabilities there as well. Now, when you're actually writing your reports, which we'll talk about in the pen testing process, this can be a great reference to use, because you'll be able to go out there and say, hey, this was a top 10 risk for mobile applications, and I found it in your application, and thus here's how you can fix it, or here's some different mitigation strategies you can use to fix the vulnerabilities. So this is just a great resource to have as a reference, where you can actually link anything that you found in a mobile application to an OWASP Mobile Top 10 risk. Going back to our slide again, this SecJuice Introduction to FRIDA and Objection. This is more of kind of a nice light reading material you'll be able to use when we get to the dynamic analysis section, so that you can easily understand the injection process using objection in FRIDA. Now this article is written exclusively for iOS applications, but just walking through this and reading it can actually give you some good information about the overall process and the different choices that we need to make as a pen tester when we actually get started injecting FRIDA into our applications. So this is just a great general resource. I know it's mostly focused on iOS, but it is a good resource to go out and read if you're going to be getting into that section of this course. Also here, this iOS Research and Exploration Volume 1. This book is written by a person named James Duffy, and not only does this book cover a little bit of iOS pen testing, but it does also cover iOS device forensics. I do own this book, and this is a physical book that will be sent out to you. So if you're interested in things like physical books, you like having the pages in front of you, this is a great read as well that can help to supplement some portions of this course. And if you're interested in device forensics as well, it does teach you a bit about device forensics as well. Coming back here, the last resource here is the Hack Tricks website. Some of you might be familiar with this. What's cool about this site for the Android checklist here is it has some basic lists about how you can go through your pen testing process. This can be a great list that you can customize throughout this course for your Android pen testing process, and you can also make one similar to this for iOS. Now, as part of the course materials, I'll also be providing my own special list that I have customized kind of based on this, but this is also something that you can use as a generic list. So when you're doing your mobile pen testing, you'll have a list to go down and check off the boxes that I've done this, this, and this to make sure that you're following the process correctly and you're looking through everything and making sure that you're checking all the boxes. So I definitely recommend taking a look at this checklist just as a general basis for yourself. You can obviously customize this however you want. You can also use the list that I'll be providing as part of the course materials as well. Maybe combine the two, maybe add your own twist to make your analysis process a little bit more fun. But it's always good to have checklists like this so that you know that you're not missing anything, and you can always go through it and make sure that you've followed all the steps that you've outlined previously. So that's all I have for the course resources here. Hope you enjoy those course resources. Again, look through the course notes for all those URLs so that you can get access to that information.